What's going on, YouTube? I figured I'd share this with you guys because I don't believe that I'm the only person that's come across this problem with not being able to get the bolt loose on the harmonic balancer on this 2001 IS300. I've seen a bunch of videos. I've been looking into this because I've been stuck trying to get that bolt out for about a week now. I've tried everything I can imagine. I've watched almost every YouTube video on how to take a bolt out, on the 2JZ. Cool. They've been helpful, put me in the right direction, and then I ended up coming up with my own deal, and I finally got something to work, and I hope that this video can actually help somebody that's been discouraged and irritated about this whole process, instead of paying God knows how much money to take it to a dealership and have them do it, when you'd rather, be like me and want to save money and do it yourself. Had the satisfaction of taking this mess, putting all these parts onto it, and making it all nice and pretty and perform a little better. Anyways, I've tried that method where you put your breaker bar on the bolt and you either rest it on the frame rail or on the ground and you try to turn the car over. Didn't work for me. All it did was go thump. My engine would raise up a little bit and that was it. Starter didn't have enough power. I tried a different battery from my daily driver. Nothing. So I decided, you know what? Try a couple other things, or I'm going to look around on YouTube, see if I can get some ideas. And there was a brilliant idea. Now, I'm just kind of demonstrating. I did not use my power steering pulley because this unit is actually a little bit newer, so I don't want to break that. I'm going to be replacing everything else anyway, so I don't really care. But anyways, with this method, it was wrap your old belt around everything. We'll just imagine my AC compressor is here. I'm deleting that and got a shorter belt. Anyways, ran it through. And what you do is let me put this here so you get a better idea of what I'm trying to do here. Here's your complete harmonic balancer. You take the belt, you feed it through something kind of like this. I'm dropping stuff all over the place. I really need to get a GoPro and a tripod. Be all pro about this stuff. Anyways, you wrap it through there, and then that should provide enough resistance to isolate this pulley so you can crack this bolt loose. Well, that wasn't working for me because after a while, I realized that this pulley was staying still, and I was rotating the bolt and this centerpiece. It was turning, and so were my cam gears. Everything was rotating while this was completely isolated. So after cranking on a little bit more to try to figure out maybe I'm not turning it fast enough, or maybe I'm not just applying pressure as efficiently as I could be, took out my little air compressor, my impact, hammered on this, nothing. So eventually I realized harmonic balancer. There is a ring of like a rubber material in here. Well, mine's separated off of the rest of it. So I figured, well, damn it. So after I just slid that thing off, I was left with this metal ring. I'm guessing it's like a steel. I tried the belt thing. It was slipping in here. It was the same thing where I had before, but it was a little bit, it felt a little bit more firm whenever I was turning it, but the belt wouldn't squeeze it tight enough because this was smooth. So I took my grinder, cut grooves in here. Starting to go through some really ghetto stuff here, but I was starting to get a little desperate and just wanting to get this done. Cut grooves to try to get some traction on my belt. Nothing. So I figured, okay, well, I'm going to cut off and see what's going on inside. So I cut it off, left with this. This, by the way, is cast aluminum, I believe. It's not steel. And I'm saying that because my next idea that actually my girlfriend's brother had, and I thought it was a pretty good idea until I saw what it was doing to this. like ended up with pieces like this. I'm almost positive it's aluminum of some sort. It's pretty stout, but it feels like aluminum. Anyways, at the time, all we had was this little pipe wrench. So his idea was to clamp it onto here. And since I got a whole timing kit with the OEM water pump and stuff, I figured, okay, well, the hell with it. We'll rest it on the water pump after I put the bolts back in, put the pulley back on. So he clamped down on here, was cranking on the bolt, and then it just started breaking off, biting off chunks of that. Figured, okay, there's a problem. So we came across this neighbor after I had this brilliant idea of, okay, well, I need a really big pipe wrench to bite down onto this thing and isolate it while I try to spin that bolt loose. Well, luckily, my brilliant idea and my hero Frank down the road here, he had this big ass pipe wrench, so he saved me from having to go out and get one of these big bad rigid like 3 foot long pipe wrench. And what I did was put a ratchet strap around there to hold it up off the ground, and I put the pipe wrench, oh, I think I tightened it up now. I put it around, yeah, I don't think it's the right size right now. I clamped it on here and isolated it. Just got it to sit there nice and snug. And then, I have a video of this, but I need to edit it. With the pipe wrench sitting on this, I went ahead, took my breaker bar, used my cheater pipe on here. I realized everything was starting to flex and I just couldn't get enough torque on it. So after I was like, you know what, I need something bigger with more leverage, I went as far as that big ass galvanized steel pipe right here. I slipped that on top of this old jack handle for a floor jack, and then that was over this. And after I realized there was a good bite with that big pipe wrench, it came at the cost of bending this pipe a little bit, and I don't know, oh, this thing is pretty tough. I got it from Ace Hardware for like $13. Anyways, got this, and that other pipe going, and I finally broke it loose. I've waited days to be able to do this. Yes, I have a new harmonic balancer coming in, but this has been the most daunting task I've ever come across. But I just wanted to share with you guys, if someone else had the same problem where they didn't want to buy a $75 tool that they'd probably never use again, I think you can get the biggest pipe wrench that they have at Harbor Freight. I think they're about $21. Opens up to fit that. Luckily my neighbor Frank had this one, so it saved me a trip and $20. But throw a pipe wrench on that thing. If you're getting a new harmonic balancer, throw a pipe wrench on there, let it rest on the bottom part of your frame rail, and just give it hell. I was literally hanging off the end of like a 5 or 6 foot long pipe on top of a cheater bar, on top of a breaker bar, to finally crack this thing loose. So I hope someone finds this video enlightening, because I haven't seen any videos where someone used a pipe wrench to isolate this if you're going to be replacing your harmonic balancer anyways. This method works. The belt method does not work if your harmonic balancer comes apart like mine did. And I know for a fact there's no way I'm the only person that would want to do this stuff at home that doesn't have a huge air compressor, a very expensive high-powered impact, and doesn't have any kind of special tools to isolate this thing. I wish I would have thought about the pipe wrench idea 4 days ago, because then I would have already been rebuilding this thing by now I should say. But that's all. And after I edit that video of me pissing around trying to set this up and actually breaking this thing loose, and I need to edit out me trying to figure out how to hold the hood up higher so I can get a better swing on it, because I had this thing bite down around this angle and everything was bending, and I put that pipe there so I don't smack my fender or my headlights, but it was flexing, so I had to get the hood to pop up Honda style, and I couldn't get it to sit just right, but I had to actually grab it from up here and crank on it, or push on it to get it to start cracking loose. And even after it turned a little bit, it still was incredibly tight, so I had to go around a couple times. But I finally got to this point, this wonderful point of excitement. I just had to share it with you guys. So, thanks for watching, and I really hope this helps somebody.